But first, coffee. This video is sponsored by Insta360, and it's not a review because I don't like making paid reviews. It's more so a hands-on kind of video showing you what the Ace Pro 2 is capable of when you're using it as a vlog camera. And what a better place to do this than down in Greece, huh? First thing first, waterproofing test. I know what you're thinking. Peter, why are you using your sunglasses underwater? Well, it's because I'm using contacts nowadays and I don't want to use the contacts when I'm in the pool, so I use these instead. Otherwise I can't see, everything's blurry. So when it comes to the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, I think it qualifies in for one of those action cameras that is freaking amazing to have if you want to make vlogs. A run and gun shooting camera that is capable of doing a lot of things. And talking about the low light performance for a bit, it is impressive. Looking at those shots, it's kind of wild to think how far we've actually come with action cameras nowadays, so that you can use them in so many different situations. There's something that I want to show you that is just a little bit better than the pool right outside. We've got 4 different water slides here, and I think that one of my missions is going to be to test all of them, see which one is the best. How's that possible? Oh man, it's gonna get real quick! Woo! This camera is performing at its peak when you're shooting at HDR, such as what we're doing right now. And one of the most demanding tests that you can have is when your subject is placed in the shadow, but the background is sunlit. So looking at the background right now, you can see that everything looks good. It looks very nice with the blue from the pool. But if I move into the shade, the camera is gonna try to expose for my face properly, and then the background. I also want to show you how it looks on the actual camera, because as you can see, there's this yellow box around my face. So it basically exposes for my face as the priority to begin with. It's going to stay locked onto my face, but it's also going to give us this weird sort of artifact looking here at the trees. But this is also one of the most demanding shots that you can put through any camera, no matter the price range. Having your subject in the shadow with a brightly lit background. I want to see the difference in this shot if I turn face priority off. So right now you're seeing how it looks with face priority, and this is without face priority. And we're back. Again, you're gonna have to be the judge of how it looks like. Another good test is to go from outside to in and see how the camera performs. It's also a challenging situation, moving from different exposure areas. Let's go into the bathroom with a different light balance. Up, and then back out to the blue room. and then from inside to out, and then turn around. I'm gonna say that that is a little bit on slow side, but you're gonna have to be the judge. Oh, Editor Peter here. You probably reacted to the exposure of the camera when we were walking from inside to out, just as I did. Well, you gotta stick around till the end of the video because I'm gonna explain why that happened. Okay, back to grease. I also wanna show you the difference that pure video does, because right now I'm shooting in 4K 30 FPS HDR, but check this out. It basically provides you with better low light performance than when you're shooting in regular 4K HDR. I'm gonna say that this looks a lot better compared to the previous shot that you saw, but I'm gonna put them side by side there so you can see. I would love to know what you think. Do drop a comment down below. I'm just gonna go. So right now what you're seeing is 4K 30, and this is what it looks like when you're shooting 8K 30 FPS. So I'm gonna put these side by side, and you're gonna have to be the judge which one looks the best. So we're back in the studio, even though I would love to stay in Greece for just a few more weeks, but next time. One of the things that I want to show you with this video is that it is possible to use this camera to shoot an entire video with. You don't need to have a super expensive setup like this to be able to make a fun and interesting vlog. And I'm actually still shooting on the Ace Pro 2 in order to show you that I can make this entire video on this camera. There's a couple of neat features that I do like, and the flip up screen is one of them, especially when you're doing vlogs, because being able to frame the shot whenever you're setting up your camera is crucial in my opinion, but also being able to have the auto exposure for the face, because then you don't have to worry that your face is not going to be properly exposed when you're moving into different scenarios. And this time around you can actually remove the lens cap if it were to break, which is nice because the previous version didn't allow you to do that, so you had to replace the entire camera, but now you don't. I also do like the fact that they have put in this simple wind muff on the camera, so you don't have to worry about wind noise when you're running around vlogging. And one of the key things that I want to do with this video was to shoot as much as I could in auto exposure without any sort of adjustment to the profiles. You do have a Insta360 log profile built into this camera as well, but since the camera is not a 10-bit camera, it's still an 8-bit camera, I'd highly recommend staying away from that because you're not going to be able to do some big adjustments with an 8-bit file, in my opinion. This camera is the camera that I used in Greece, which still has the old firmware, and as both you and I saw, it was a little bit underwhelming when you walked from, inside to out, because it took quite some time for it to find the exposure, just as it did right now. And when you walked inside, it was doing a pretty decent job. But the thing is that Insta360 has released more firmwares since I was recording that, and they've actually improved that. So I'm gonna put the new firmware side by side with the old firmware, and then we're going to do the same test again so that you can see that this is actually something that has been improved, okay? So, inside to out. New firmware performing really well, in my opinion. And going from outside to in. Nice. Let's do that again, just to see how it works. Going from inside to out. Yeah, new firmware does a really good job at finding the exposure and keeping it in the right level really fast. But I gotta say that the old firmware does a slightly better job at keeping the exposure on my face when we go from inside to out. Of course, I'm in outside to Inva, and I did have a conversation with Insta360 about this particular issue, and they will keep on improving the firmware to make sure that is sort of like spot on upon the release of this camera. That's how it is, you know. Sometimes when you test out beta products, then you gotta find the issues that the engineering teams did not expect. But now they've done a freaking good job at adjusting it. I think it's very fun to see different kind of cameras on the market and see what the companies are doing, because I love the fact that they're just upgrading these versions and making them better for each day. But the most important thing is, what do you think about this camera? And did you enjoy the video? If so, do drop a comment down below. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see me next time, that is. I would love to see you. Anyway, Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye. That one hurt my back bad.